Hello and welcome to Greg's Chan 1. I am Greg and this is Channel 1. Now this is an Orange Tuesday. Tuesday? Orange Tuesday. Now, as you can probably guess, this is the third installment of our Orange Tuesdays. So, once Orange is over, I don't know what the Tuesdays will become, but the Tuesdays will become something else. But for now, they are orange. So let's get into this episode, which is letter 3. So this is yet another letter directed to Naho, which tells her that over the day Kakeru will not join the soccer club. He will actually reject playing for the team, and he will go out on a date with Uda Senpai. Now, we finally find out who that red-headed chick is that was watching him when he was playing with Suwa in the previous episode. That is Uda Senpai, which will be the woman that will add a spanner into the works of this show. So let's start off. We have a nice moment where Naho, well, it seems almost like Naho is being the older Naho is being a bit more forceful on her younger self to be more confident, to actually pay more attention to Kakeru, kind of, look at him and kind of say, I need to fix him, I need to be there for him, I need to make him feel like his life is important. Kakeru, having joined the footy club, he says that he's joined for now purely because of the fact that Suwa would not let him leave the pitch unless he said that he would join. Which is showing that Suwa is still quite a funny character. He's still got his charisma. He's still quite a fun character to have around. I'm not quite sure at this at the start of the episode. You're not quite sure if Naho has actually changed anything, really, with what she has been doing in the first 2 episodes. It looks like she might be changing little things, and so things may slowly start veering in a different direction, a direction that is more positive for Kakeru as a character. So it goes through. We get a nice scene with Hagita, although the scene is just so awkward as a scene that it kind of killed the mood for me. I was saying that we need to see more of him last episode. We saw a bit of him this episode, and it was just kind of awkward for awkward's sake. However, judging from what I have judged from the character, it seems like the kind of awkwardness he would cause on purpose. I'm guessing Uda Senpai is possibly a 3rd year or a 2nd year, much like the others, but she's called Senpai because she's from a higher class or something like that. That's what I'm gathering. So at least we now know who the redhead is, and she seems to be interested in Kakeru. Seems to be interested in Kakeru as a character, and it seems to want him. And so, obviously, this is going to cause a little bit of an issue with our main relationship that I think anyone who's watching the show and actually is paying attention is shipping these two. They're shipping Naho and Kakeru, and personally I think that's the right way to go with it, because it's something that seems to be something that they missed on in the first iteration of such. The Naho that's now in the future, put simply, Naho in the future could have ended up with Kakeru but didn't, because she didn't pay enough attention. She didn't look after him enough. And so maybe there's a chance that we can get Kakeru and Naho together this time around. which I think is quite an interesting idea. I'm actually slowly warming to this premise. I think the premise is slowly getting me. I think I'm finally starting to like the premise, and I think I can finally get behind it a bit. Purely because there's a reason to get behind it now, because of how well it's been done over the first 2 episodes about Kakeru and Naho's relationship as a couple, well, potential couple. It kind of gives you something to root for and go, okay, I can get the premise to, the premise is making me want to root for these two, because I want these two to succeed. To which I want them to succeed, because, damn it, they should be a couple. The chemistry between these two is just beautiful. It's something that I really like. But then after, obviously, Uda Senpai and Kakeru having their first conversation, Kakeru says he's thinking about possibly going out on a date and dating Uda Senpai, and there's a really, really sweet moment where you start thinking that maybe Kakeru and Naho won't be a couple, and it's like, what? No, which is kind of caused a love triangle, and I don't like love triangles, but if it's going to be something that's going to help give Naho's character a bit of confidence, give her the ability to be that opposing force to Uda Senpai, I could get behind this particular love triangle. I'm not a huge fan of them. I think they're normally quite cheap ways of writing character progression. Just look at Vampire Knight and Vampire Knight Kill E, but yeah, besides the point. That's like a bad example. This, they could do it right, and I could get behind the couple I want, rather than having Uda Kakeru, Naho Kakeru. I think it feels real. It feels beautiful as a pairing. So Naho just seems to be a doormat, which is a shame. Her kind of thing is that she lets people just walk all over her because she's just so nice to everybody that everyone just kind of walks over her like a doormat, and it's a shame because it feels like her character has room to grow and get stronger as a character and as a person, and that's something I'm really behind. Whew. But one thing I will say that I love about this series so far is it feels very realistic. It feels real. The only thing that doesn't is the slight supernaturalness of the slight sci-fi-ness of the fact that Naho's got these letters. That's the only thing that isn't that realistic, and weirdly enough, I could actually see this being turned into a live action, and it's succeeding. Because obviously you can just use makeup to make yourself look an extra 10 years older. Just change your look kind of thing. And I like the fact that you've got Naho doubting herself, because it's showing that her character is progressing. Her character is getting some development. Her character is doing something, which you want. You want your main protagonist to be doing something and to actually develop as a character, which this episode did very well for Naho. And characters are kind of my big thing. The characters aren't interesting, or the characters aren't making me want to say in the show, I'll just switch off. Unless I have to keep watching. I found it quite funny because obviously before Kakeru goes off to go end up in a relationship with Uda Senpai, which is something that happens in this episode, Kakeru they have to decide on who's going to go get all the drinks for everyone. And it shows that Kakeru's really bad at rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, he's not very good at it, which is a shame. But it makes for a great moment when you just see his face go to, oh man, why me? I know I'm the new guy, but come on. But nothing happens, so he ends up having to go get the drinks. he talks to Uda Senpai, and he ends up saying yes. That you get a nice scene just before that when they're in the fourth period, I think it is. Yeah, fourth period. Naho lends her a pencil and eraser. Lends him a pencil and an eraser. And as he gives it back, there's a note inside. And you get this nice bit of tension where in the letter it's saying, I didn't notice it until after that day, etc. And kind of just builds the tension of, oh. And then Naho opens it and sees the letter that is in the cover, the protective cover of the eraser. You know, like with a rubber, you get like the rubber, and then you get like the branding name. There was like a note inside there, and she reads it, and it's Kakeru asking, "Do you think it's okay if I date Uda Senpai?" He's asking her for blessing, and if she says no before he accepts, I think he would have, said okay. However, she doesn't see it until later, and so she writes her answer, and it's a bit too late, which is a scene that we get right near the end of the episode of the present day stuff, where Kakeru is just looking in his locker with his shoes, and in there he finds the note, and it just says no in big capital letters. You see his face go into oh, awkward. The chemistry between Kakeru and Naho is just so good as a on-screen pairing that it makes you kind of want them to be a couple, because it feels right as characters. It feels like they gel, so you kind of want them to succeed. You want them to be a couple. I'm not normally about this kind of stuff, but this particular story, it feels like it fits, rather than the writer's just trying to force two characters together like they normally do. You get a moment where you're like, no, she's got to tell him how she feels. She doesn't do it in time, which leads to the sad moment. And then you get a lovely moment where you find out Uda Senpai and Kakeru are a couple, and Naho just slowly walks away. Suwa looks around, notices she's left, goes out the door and just says to her, "You like Kakeru, don't you?" She looks at him with tears in her eyes and just runs off, and you could see in his face it's, oh, damn. Because obviously, what with him being kind of the lead of the group, I think there's a kind of feeling that, he should have saved her. He should have, I don't know. He should have done something to, keep Kakeru away from Uda Senpai and kind of guide him to her. But then, obviously, if you look at the future time, they're a couple, which makes me think that maybe Suwa likes Naho. So you end up with a square. You end up with a love square, love rectangle, box, rhombus thing. Where did I get that? I don't know where I get some of this crap. But yeah, you got this love shape, potentially. Then it cuts to a beautiful scene where 10 years in the future, in the previous episode, they were saying, they're going to go celebrate Kakeru's birthday. And obviously his death is listed as an accident, mentioned as an accident, where he was just hit by oncoming traffic. The ending of this episode, it got me. It was such a beautiful moment. This scene, it was beautiful, truly beautiful. You get a moment where all of them, obviously, at some point, had written, how they viewed their lives in the future, 10 years from now. They're going to go and collect it 10 years from now. and this is the 10th year since Kakeru died. So they go and collect it, and they read it, and they're all saying what they do. Then Suwa goes, let's read. I guess we need to read Kakeru's. We need to find out what Kakeru, had planned for himself. How he saw his life. And Suwa opens it up and reads that Kakeru giving his opinion on all of the group and saying how much he loved the group and how the group were his true friends, but nothing about himself. And that's when the penny drops. Hagito says a line, did he not see a future for himself? How did he not see? Did he mean to die? And then Suwa, the penny drops to Suwa, and it wasn't an accident. And that's when you realise, that's when the penny drops for everyone. He took his own life. He killed himself that day. And then you get a moment where Nahu just says to herself, I have to stop him from doing that in the next chance, in another life. Which is why she sent the letter to current Naho. And that was truly beautiful. Now, this episode, I think, is one of my favourite. I think out of the 3 episodes, this episode really hit me right between the eyes. But there were a couple of things right at the start that just brought it down just enough that it only scores a 4.7 out of 5. It has been strong. This is a great series, I think, and this is a series that I think is going to end up having me torn to pieces by the end. I'm going to be in absolute tears, I think, by the end. I hope not, but I get the feeling this is going to be one of those that's going to tear me apart, personally. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like; it's always good. It adds positive energy. You can subscribe. It's either that side or it's that side. Leave your thoughts and opinions on the episode in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Do you ship Naho, Kakeru, etc.? Tell your friends, to come and watch my stuff if you think that they'd be interested. Hashtag. Hashtag road to 50 subs. I'm doing my best to try and get it. I hope you guys have a lovely day, night, wherever you are. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Have a good day, and goodbye.